influential in every aspect of their lives. She loves God. She's very passionate about advancing his kingdom. Currently, she doubles as a barrister and solicitor and also as a banker. I believe by now we should be clapping for her. With a clapping ovation, kindly help me to welcome. We are not clapping. Kindly help me welcome Barrister Tedisha Fode Musa. I want us to clap. Barrister Solicitor of the High Court of Sierra Leone. And I make bold to tell you for today that she will also be a Madam Speaker. You're not clapping. I said a clapping ovation until she takes her seat. Yes. She is the Madam Speaker of today's Parliament session. Secondly, I would like to introduce our judges. We have two judges. One, Sister Esther Kamara. Sister Esther Kamara. I want us to clap as I introduce. As I introduce our second judge, Sister Esther Kamara. She's a devoted believer. She attended the Methodist Girls High School and later proceeded, upon successful completion of her WAEC, to study at Cyprus, where she pursued a bachelor's degree, business administration at West University, Cyprus. She's hardworking, she's loyal, she's submissive, she loves God, and a soon-to-be banker. With a clapping ovation, kindly help me to welcome Sister Esther Kamara. We are not clapping until she takes her seat. Aren't we excited? Aren't we excited to welcome them? Amen. We're going now to our second judge. Our second judge, by the grace of God, is also devoted, born-again Christian with deep commitment to faith and service. He began his educational journey in Kenema and later pursued a Bachelor of Laws, LLB degree at the University of McKinney, where he graduated with first-class honors. Put your hands together. Is that not great? Isn't it wonderful? In his pursuit of professional excellence and legal career, he gained admission to the Sierra Leone Law School in 2024. During his time there, he demonstrated strong leadership qualities, serving as both deputy class president and later as class president. I make bold to tell you that he was our first representative from UNIMAC to serve in these capacities. Is it not wonderful? Put your hands together. And on behalf of Deep Alive Campus Fellowship, to serve in those capacities is very, very difficult at the Sierra Leone Law School. Amen. And finally, he successfully passed the bar final professional examination and was subsequently called to the bar, the Sierra Leone bar, as a barrister and solicitor of the High Court of Sierra Leone in November 2024. I would like to let you know that presently he is currently undertaking his pupillage at the Law Officers Department, where government lawyers work as pupil barrister, where he continues to develop his legal acumen and commitment to justice. Is no other person but Brother Joseph, barrister, solicitor of the High Court, Joseph Sam. Continue to put your hands together. We are not clapping. We are not clapping. This is enough motivation for us to do more. It's enough motivation for us to put our hands together. Aren't you putting our hands together? Thank you very much. So before we proceed further, I would like to introduce the sitting bill moderator for today's opening session. Our sitting bill moderator is also a born again. Thanks to God, we are all saved by the grace of God. Is a Christian youth leader at the Deeper Christian Life Ministry. is a renowned poet, is a debater, is an author, is a public speaker, is a spoken word artist, is a motivational speaker, is a radio presenter, is an event host, and a lot more. During his school days, he was one of the best debaters, winning the National Inter-Secondary School Debate Competition in 2018. He became the best National Karl Popper debater in 2021, best student writer in 2021, National Award-winning poet, currently the best public speaker at Frobe College, University of Sierra Leone. Aren't we clapping? Aren't we clapping? In Deeper Life, we have mentors. He is also a respected poet with over 220 poems published on all his platforms and has authored a poetry book that was published in 2023. He is a co-founder of the Dream Ignite Youth podcast programs. He is a university student at the Frobe College University, pursuing his second degree in marine science after obtaining a higher diploma in radio communication. It's so happy to know he's a science student. And yes, he is striving in what we, the hard students, should do. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing and a clapping ovation, I want you to stand up, clap as we welcome our brother Sylvester Simeon Fancy. Thank you very much. We will now take our seat. And finally, before we bring the curtain down to a close, I would like to introduce somebody who's very important in our midst. As our pastor was saying, we cannot proceed if we are not guided. And herein, I would like to introduce our brother Newton Tambasam. Brother Newton, I know some people are asking, but where are the debaters? We are getting there. Timekeeper is a devoted born again as well, whose life is guided by faith, discipline, and excellence. He began his educational journey in Kenema, where he consistently ranked among the top performing students throughout his primary and secondary education. At the Government Secondary School, Kenema, he distinguished himself not only academically, but also in leadership, serving as assistant senior prefect in junior secondary school and later as senior prefect in senior secondary school. Upon the successful completion of the WAEC, he gained admission into the Central University, where he is currently pursuing his bachelor's degree in computer science. Demonstrating remarkable intellect and dedication, he has maintained a strong academic record. And in 5 points, in both years and second years, getting GPA of 5 points is really not easy. Amen. In just his second year at university, Newton has already made impressive strides in his career path. He currently serves as a laboratory and technical skill, an evidence and laboratory technician and secretary to the Director of Student Affairs. His innovation and technical skills are evident in his development of a hostel management system, which has been officially approved by the university and is set to be implemented upon resumption. Our esteemed timekeeper is no other person but brother Newton Tambasam. Is a young man of vision, of excellence, and unwavering faith. Now we are set to welcome our honorable members of parliament. Earlier, I told you that we are proceeding with the British parliamentary style of debate. And join me as I welcome. I'll welcome them in teams. The sitting government team A, wherever you are, please come and take your seat. You are highly welcome. Sitting government team A, where are you? Walk without bragado of consciousness. Where are you? Team A, sitting government. Yes. And finally, I would like to welcome the opposing team. The opposing team, please, you may now take your seat. And finally, to us, the audience, I want you all to know that you are welcome. We form the House of Parliament and we are in the well of Parliament. Make it a point of duty to learn, and as we proceed, our judges will teach us and The debaters as well, we present. They are here to explain salient points that will ignite and steer us for future endeavors in Jesus' name. Thank you once more.
Members of the Fourth Estate, we are seated here as honorable members to discuss national matters. Hence, we must pay key attention to what honorable members are going to tender here. From the Speaker of this well, we are ensuring that we discuss, and the bill for today's parliamentary sitting is titled, "This House believes that the church has a greater role than the government in shaping morality." I repeat, the church has a greater role than the government in shaping morality. So we have the sitting government and we have the opposition government. Hence, from what they're going to tender here will be considered by the Speaker of this House, either that we agree that yes, the government has a greater role to play, or we kick out the bill and say no, the government do not have a role to play when it comes to morality, but the church. So as members, let us pay key attention to these debates. We don't boo at our honorables when they are speaking. We are not here to preach politics. Huh? Guys, Jesus is our president. So please, we are not here to preach politics. Pay keen attention and learn. I hand over to our judge and the speaker to ensure that she say a word of you. Thank you very much.
So good afternoon, everybody. This is the Well of Parliament, and I am the president here, and I have my armed guards all over this place. So if you make any misbehavior, we'll go send you out. So we want you to pay attention, to be attentive. We're not just here to be entertained. We're here to be educated. You know, I'm very happy that I'm seeing new faces. It shouldn't just be the same people. And as you come to programs like this, we cater for your spiritual well-being, your physical well-being, and even your, of course, your academic well-being and all. So these are all things that are very important and necessary for us. Please, when somebody is talking, don't start to boo at them. Whatever the person is saying, there is something you can learn from what he or she is saying. And also to our debaters, I know you guys, you have been well prepared and you've been waiting for this day. I know you'll do well, but please be time conscious and make sure
time. And that poses a question: who should be responsible in shaping morality? Or who has a greater role? Is it the church or the government? And as a result, I rise here today as the Prime Minister to support the motion that says the church is responsible or has a greater role in shaping morality, and not the church, and not the government, sorry. So we know that morality is not just simply obeying certain laws or governmental laws, but morality is simply having the conviction to do the right thing when nobody's watching, when nobody's around you. And the government acts on our actions, what we do, what we say, and the things we are involved in. But the church speaks directly to our heart. So if I stop from stealing only because it is sinful, then I'm truly a moral person. But if I stop stealing just because I'm afraid of what the police will do, then I'm not a moral person. I'm just a law-abiding citizen. And so the government can punish you for doing the wrong thing, but they don't have what it takes to raise upright people. They don't have the ideas or the things to put in place to creating upright people. So, and we also know that governmental laws are inconsistent. They are not static. And what really causes the inconsistency is as a result of change in government, elections, and whatsoever. So when there is a change in government, there is high tendency that governmental laws are flawed, governmental laws are changed, or governmental laws, they are altered. But the church principles remains the same. They don't expire. They keep on going on and on from one generation onto another. For instance, there is currently a law or a bill that is being passed into government in this country that says that if you are caught, getting married to the same sex, you'll be put to prison for 5 years. But what if I become the next president and I tell you, every Sierra Leonean has the right to marry whoever they want, as long as it is not me? So what then can you say about that? So they are inconsistent. And also, it is, from my study, I came to realize that there is no law in any government in the world that addresses issues such as pride, envy, jealousy, covetousness. Why? Because governmental laws, they act on actions and not really intentions. They don't care about what you intend to do. So because they act on our intentions, actions, the church speaks directly to what we intend to do. We come to church, we raise up holy hands, and we're asking God to transform our hearts from a stony heart to a heart of flesh. And all these things I've listed out to you, the pride, envy, jealousy, if you look into it, these are actually the roots of immorality. So if you want to know somebody is immoral, you don't need to look otherwise. Just check. You find out that the person has pride, covetousness, envy. These are areas the government cannot reach at all. So with these points of mine, I've been able to confirm or affirm that if we leave the responsibility of raising upright people to the hands of the government, I don't think you and I will be here today. I don't think there will be religious gatherings. That is why governmental institutions cannot be trusted. With these points of mine, I think I've been able to make. Yes.
You spoke about the church actually teaching doctrine that contradicts envy and pride, and there is no doctrine, there is no rule in government that actually address such issues. So my question is corruption rooted out of envy or pride? What is the cause of corruption? Isn't it because of envy and pride that people resort to corruption? And why is there an establishment of an anti-corruption commission, Honorable Prime Minister?
All right, thank you. So it still boils down to the same thing. I can only tell you are corrupt when I find out the action. Is that also? So, but they don't deal with what your intentions are for corruption. They don't deal with your inside. Okay, I can punish you for corrupting government funds, but I can't necessarily kill the desire for you doing it again. That is why a lot of people, after coming from prison, they still do the same thing again and again. Why? Because of the intentions of their heart. I think that's my answer. Yeah. All right.
Please, POC, can I?
He said it's close. So if we look also to the historical, background of the church and government, you know that long time back, what used to guide society and what used to guide, the world in those days was religious principles. Before even governmental laws were being instituted or legislated, there are laws in government that will tell you that some of these laws are derived or they are excerpts from biblical perspective, biblical religious perspective, like the Ten Commandments. We know that into law. They are as a result of laws being derived from religious leadings in those days. And that means that if there are no religious or church practices or doctrines, then I don't think that governmental laws or the governmental bodies can find out that this action of yours is a criminal offense or not a criminal offense. Hope you get it. So I can't necessarily tell that what you did is a crime unless I have a root to it somewhere. And the root to it is that long time back, the church principles and doctrines were in place before governmental institutions were there already. So I think with these 3 points, I've been able to affirm that the church has a greater role in shaping morality. Thank you.
That's the voice of the sitting government, Prime Minister. Now we're moving to the opposition leader.
Honorable Speaker, members of the House, I want to embrace the opportunity and the privilege with utmost respect and relevance as the opposition leader to rise and also today stand on all existing protocols as the Prime Minister have attempted to convince us that Christianity has greater role than government in shaping morality, which we on the opposition bench strongly disagree or oppose. Our stance are clear and very simple. To start with, I would like to shift our mindset that God being the superior, yet the honoring is a government. He has a governmental body. He operates in governmental legislature. God has a department. He has rules that governs his jurisdiction, his domain, his terrain. Yet, if I'm wrong, the Bible that recorded in the book of Holy Scripture says, "Let your will be done that is in heaven, that let it be done on earth as it is in heaven." So this is to tell you that there are rules, there are regulations that binds, that governs God's terrain, God's jurisdiction. And before I highlight my first point, I would like to rebuild the Prime Minister, which I was not given the opportunity. He said that the church principles are unchanged. It's a lie, because there are different doctrines, different beliefs. We have the Orthodox, the Methodists. There are different principles. They are not all same. They don't act the same. And he said government changes. It changes as well as Christianity. Before I move forward, Honorable Speaker, let me try to reiterate again the statement that he said that the rules of governmental morality has initiated before governmental rules. That takes me to my first point, and I would like to make a reference in the Bible, which says in Romans 13, verse 1 to 4, that governing authorities are ordained by God to punish wrongdoing and reward good. So without law, morality remains abstract. So the government officials, the government is there to enforce that these laws are being applicable in the society. And that leads me to my second point that says that the church influences individuals. We're trying to talk about something here. That is individualism. But the government influences the system. And I will make a reference also in the Bible that says in Romans 13, verse 3 to 4, for rulers, terror for those who right, but for those who do wrong, for the one in authority is called servant for your good. So the government officials are God's ordained people to serve the community, to serve even the church, because the church itself depends on the government. I will make a reference briefly. In COVID-19, there was a situation wherein the government, because of the pandemic, the government has to put restriction of public gathering. So if the church does not depend on the government, they will put restriction. They didn't gather without the word, without the go ahead of the church. So this tells you that even the church depend on the government for safety, for holiness. It is stated in the Bible in 2 Timothy. Apostle Paul said, he said, let us pray for those in high places, but they are the one that ensure that we practice Christianity in holiness and godliness. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I heard you say that the government is superior. My only question for you is, has the government's superiority in any way affected, morality in the lives of citizens?
Yes, please, and don't misinterpret me. I didn't talk about superiority of government. I only said God in his supremacy, in his sovereignty. Now, let me answer the question that says, let me say this. Government actually try to put emphasis on reduction of crimes. Now, let me make this very clear. Now, a pastor may preach a sermon about corruption, but there are rules, there are bodies like anti-corruption to enforce that these principles are being traced, are being implemented in the society by practical seeing. We all know about the issues some years ago, how people were traced in order how they engage in corrupted activities. They were tracked down. I must say this to you, members of the house. Let me say this very clear to you. There are things, there are instances that people do not even revere. They go to church, but their life is not changing. And morality does not mean that being a Christian, somebody can be a moral person without being a Christian or without being a Muslim. That is a self-inculcated principle. And the government is there to shape it. And that brings me to my last point today that says the church also, individuals that they were the one that influences individual, but church, the government actually influences system. So this tells you that, like I said earlier on, a man of God may preach a sermon in a church, but that sermon about corruption, they lack the rules and regulation, the principle in order to enact is as to mitigate that corruption. It keeps going. So Christianity also is a self-centered something. The Bible says, let every man work out his salvation with trembling and fear. But the government moves with system. It doesn't only a complete. Christianity talks about only believers, but government includes both Muslim and Christianity. So this tells that government principles government are the right person and the right institution in order to make great impact in shaping morality than Christianity. I rest my case. But before that, there is a saying by a great philosopher, Thomas Hobbes, that says, covenant without the sword are powerless. This tells you that even moral activity without government enforcement are baseless and powerless. Thank you. I rest my case.
That's the voice of the opposition leader. We now move to the sitting government hearing from our Deputy Prime Minister.
Standing to observe all protocols, I want to use this great opportunity to acknowledge the presence of respectable speakers of the parliament, and to all, debaters, and to all members of the parliament. And first of all, before I go further, there is a saying that says, "However it be, the true will last." And I may want to throw light on my minister of all what he have said concerning the topic. The church playing a great role in the aspect of changing our moralities. Now, looking at some of the vitals and some of the important relevant topics that have been raised, by my minister, and you see, it is a very nice one, a very brilliant one, because taking a look at it, all the strategies of life, that leads to success, they are not part of Christianity. If you look at it naturally, or looking at things for success or for any developmental aspect, you must not absent the religious aspect. More especially, we are talking about the church aspect. Now, taking a look at most of the things that are going on in the country, or privately, some of the disadvantages or problems affecting us, because of we fail to realize our belonging, where we belong, which is our area of worship. Now, looking at some of the instances that have been raised by my deputy minister, by saying the absence of Christianity, bringing different things that are not bringing success to humanity. Now, I want to give some brief, fundamental aspects on the origination of, this Christianity that we are talking about, which is the church. Now, we see in those days gone by, there were no government, or there were no, people like that. Let us think about the children of Israel. At the time of the children of Israel, moving from Egypt to the promised land, there were no governance, or there were no, ruling. They all have leaders, and those leaders were chosen by God. So if you say the government have great roles in impact, in the society, or in changing morality, I stand to contradict against that. And what is the main, fundamental aspect here is we must understand the fact that Christianity teaches us both the two aspects.
My honorable colleague here.
I'm still on my knees, please. Now, the aspect.
Mr. Speaker.
Now, if you look at the time of Moses being given the 10 Commandments, you see that the 10 Commandments was here to enlighten them, to strengthen them, and to teach them the way and how to move. Now, if you say government have great moral, yes, it is their responsibility. And I want to assure you that the government itself is being originated by religious aspect. Now, leadership starts from God, and we see that God is the originator of the church. It also. Now, I stand here to tell you that the best part, or the best aspect to change, or to develop your moral life, is what? The Christian aspect, which is that teaches you both the physical and the spiritual aspect of life, and leads you to the pathway of success. So I thereby stand to tell you that Christianity is, or church is, one of the main factors that bring development in the aspect of changing the morality of life. So I thereby rest my case.
So that's the voice of the Deputy Prime Minister in this world. With that, we're moving to the opposition Deputy Speaker for today's parliamentary sitting.
Honorable Speaker, esteemed members of Parliament, I am here today, but before I go further, I just want to debunk the statement made by my brother here, which I was denied the opportunity to do while seated. He clearly stated, or he tried to brainwash you, that in times before now, there have not been governments in place. There have only been churches or religious organizations to look after the morality of people, and that is not true. If you go back in the Bible, which should be a typical example, and I'm going to use it. You could see that God raised judges. He raised judges because he knew men, that men are sinful and they are not law abiding. So what? He needed judges to do his work. Yes, there were preachers of at that time, but again, there were what? Judges. So, Honorable Speaker, esteemed judges and respected members of the House, as the deputy leader of the opposition, I stand before you not to dismiss the importance of the church. I am here not in any way to dismiss the importance of the church, that they are not a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the morality of the people in the nation. But I'm here to let you know that the best force of the best thing to go with is the government. First of all, to add to what my guy here just said, he openly and clearly stated that enforcement is one key role in which the government play a part in countering morality in the nation. And that I cannot stress enough, because enforcement, one, there are law agencies that the government have in place to make sure that if you go against a certain law, if you go against a certain guideline, you should be treated this way. And again, to state from what one of my colleagues here said, he stated that the church is the only body that can mold the morality of an individual, and that is a lie. There are individuals that have been convicted of crimes, and these individuals, when convicted, they are sent to prisons. And I can tell you of a surety that these individuals, when they go to the prison to serve their time, when they are back, in fact, it is no more called prisons, it is called correctional centers. When they are back, they are in many ways changed, and then they have done so many good things in our society today. Again, accountability. Governments are elected. Yeah, they are not forced on us. Governments are elected. They are flexible, meaning they can do what is permitted only with laws and constitution of our country, what they are guided by to do. And
point of correction, point of C. Yes. Over time, what I've learned as being a Christian is that God will never give you something he knows you don't have the grace to handle. You get it? So if God has to institute people to lead or to be as governors or government leaders, over time, check all through the scriptures, because my opposing debaters are making references to the people God placed in leadership. Let's read through all the human beings God placed as leaders over time. You find out that there is something in them they have that he has, and that is why he made them leaders. You get it? And that thing is morality. God will not.
Please,
God
I'm
will
still
not
on my
put you-
knees and we want to continue. That has not been a point of correction, by the way. Let me be clear. Yeah, I'm going to give you a typical example that I'm sure it's a practical knowledge. Everyone here should know. Morality really is a personal experience, or is a personal thing to do. It doesn't really have to be a church thing or, a religious thing. It's a personal thing. And I want you to know also, you can fact check me on this, that churches, that are countries that have more churches in it are not doing morally well. I can tell you for sure. And Nigeria is one country. The rate of crime is high in Nigeria. There are more than 1 million churches in Nigeria, and even Sierra Leone. To let you know, do you know there are more churches in Sierra Leone than there are mosques in Freetown, to be specific? I guess you are just finding out. And there has not been in any way a change of morality. So, with these points, I just want to let you all know that morality or the government is the force to be reckoned with when it comes to morality.
The exact voice from the deputy opposition leader. We're moving to the government member of the day.
Honorable Speaker, with all protocols observed, members of Parliament, I humbly rise this day to support the proposal which this House believes that the church has a greater role than government in shaping morality. I am Albert Boyma by name. Yes, the government has a great role in shaping morality in the lives of people. But our point is that the church has a greater role in shaping morality. Side by side, let me begin by reaffirming the points raised by both the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister came, I think he interpreted to us the topic very well, and he began his point by telling us that government's attempt to shape morality is inconsistent because of change of government. That is very true. Some moments ago, Sierra Leone made an attempt to legalize abortion, and abortion is one type of immorality. That clearly explains to you the diversity that occurs in government with the claim that you try to shape morality. He also further explained that the government cannot address all areas of morality. I'm just getting started. Now, let me come to you. The opposition leader, of course, when you came, you said without law, morality remains abstract. Are you saying everybody in the church is not moral? They are all immoral. You say without law, it remains abstract. For the deputy opposition leader, I was caught into communicating laughter, when he was presenting. I mean, anyway, so you talk about accountability. What is the accountability on the part of the government in terms of shaping morality in the lives of people? It doesn't make sense. There's no prayer. So I want to conclude before I come to my points. This is like a pre-decision for the member of opposition that will be coming. Already, she said she was asking the Prime Minister where corruption is rooted. Corruption is rooted in immoral stimulation and not by any envy or other things. Now, let me come to my points. My purpose of being here. To start with, morality is a core value of the Christian faith or the church. And what you value, you strive for it. And that is exactly what the church does. Let us address the elephant in the room. The government is most concerned with, ensuring peace and stability in the country, not necessarily shaping morality. What do I mean by this? Now, the government serves as a standoff between morality and immorality because it's so, priority is to ensure the rights of citizens. How? Now, the government only takes action against immorality if it affects another citizen. But if your immorality affects only you, the government definitely has no action. For example, raping. Raping is an immoral act. It is because you rape someone and it goes against the feeling of another citizen. And so, this is why the government takes action. No pure. I still have much to say. So, now, I have a simple question for the member of opposition, the members. Now, if you say the government actually plays a great role or a greater role, as you claim, in shaping morality, why can't it have one of its ministries called as Ministry of Morality Enforcement? There's nothing like that. We have Ministry of Finance, we have Ministry of Forestry, and all of that. So that clearly tells that, the purpose of the government is actually trying to maintain serenity in the country. And that is by ensuring that yes, one POI very quickly.
All right. So I think you are off guard. You are not being consistent. You are talking of clarity, but your message does not carry clarity.
Okay,
You are,
but-
I'm not done, please.
Okay.
I
No,
want to
okay,
mention, please.
you're explaining.
Hello. So you
I
are
know
trying
the
to
time.
say that government officials does not try to mitigate this immorality. And I must tell you that there are series of examples that
Honorable
religious
member,
leaders
honorable
have
member.
engaged in immoral acts. There are countless of news of hearing pastors
Honorable-
engaging in sexual immorality. Those that preach, they don't do what they
Madam
preach.
Speaker,
It is countlessly.
Madam Speaker, I think there's some misdemeanor going on here.
He's protected.
Okay. Now, before I conclude, let us, talk here. How many government officials do you know that are moral? A good number of them are even immoral. So how can you impact something, a quality that you don't have? So that clearly tells you that the government can only attempt to shape or make morality in the lives of citizens, but the church actually has the greater role to do that. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker and all members of Parliament, I want to conclude that the church is the more appropriate springboard to refining morality in the lives of citizens. The government does not necessarily play a greater role in shaping moralities in the lives of people. Thank you very much. I am Honorable Albert Boima from constituency 024.
So he is the government member for the ruling government. And now we are moving off to the opposition government member.
There is a change of government, but there is always a continuity of government. The government, not the church, has a greater role and power to implement and enforce laws and regulation to ensure that the fundamental moral values are protected and executed. Something appalling happened in the 19th century. Virginia Christian, who happens to be a member of a church, a Baptist church, went to America, became an African American employed by Aidan. Aidan accused Virginia that she stole something. Virginia, who had always been in the church, embracing the teaching of morality, denied that she did not steal, but the employer continued to emphasize that you steal something. The lady was enraged. What she did, her anger resulted to her being a murderer. She did not account for the moral teachings that she was receiving in the church. And guess what? The United States of America actually intervened in the situation, and they proved that they proved that she was actually guilty, so she was convicted and she became the first juvenile to be in prison, and then she was executed. Ladies and gentlemen, this emphasizes that people can be in the church, receive moral doctrines, receive religious believing from the teachings of their pastors, but that do not account that they can actually represent themselves as moral individuals, because you can actually take a man from the ghetto, but you cannot actually take the ghetto from the man until the man decides that he wants to be out of the ghetto through the intervention of God, which means that you can preach morality, of course, but you cannot refine the mentality of individuals if they do not want to refine their own mentality. And in local days, there were no church, there were no preaching, there were only traditional moral values, and there were only traditional administrations. In traditional time, for instance, in indigenous Sierra Leone, we have traditional leaders and traditional moral values. If somebody contradicts the moral values of the land by stealing or committing murder, the political leader, who is a traditional individual, can actually call upon that individual, and that individual actually will be punished because of that immoral thing that he has done, which means that government and morality complement individual. It is because of the government that morality in the church can actually be refined. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Clerk, and honorable members of Parliament, I am Linda Miracle Bangura, serving as the opposition member. Today, I am in this web of Parliament serving as a representative of morality and justice, representing constituency 003 of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's Parliament, this house believes that the church has a greater role in shaping morality than the government. But as member of the opposition side, we strongly believe that although the church is important in shaping morality, but it does not provide or it does not serve as a greater role in promoting or shaping fundamental moral values. In the infinite wisdom of our opposition leader, he made vital points that actually provided evidence that morality is embedded in government through laws and justice. As a member of opposition, it is my responsibility to actually reinforce the points made by my leader of opposition and the deputy opposition. In that regard, yes, there is an establishment of the Anti-Corruption Commission. That institution actually regulates the conduct of individuals in combating corruption and immoral behavior in public operations, and also the time that we were in government. The president promoted social justice. He promoted equality by actually rectifying some of the numerous bills and the right on convention for children, and also convention on women, convention on the elimination of discrimination for all women. This highlights that the government actually
Yes, madam.
framework in shaping moral standards in society.
Madam, is there any change ever since the government have been punishing people who are corrupting the governmental system? Has there been any change? It's still ongoing. Corruption is still ongoing. You get it?
Corruption is ongoing because, as this house believes that the church has a greater role in shaping morality, ironically prove that the church is not doing something greater, because if people are in the church,
the government doing something greater,
and then still go to the secular world and do something that contradicts morality, in that capacity, if the church cannot actually provide that, so the government creates institutions like the anti-corruption institutions, laws against theft and murder, in order to shape, in order to shape the fundamental values of individuals. So in that regard, the government serves as a greater role, although the church is important, but it is the government that decides what happens in the nation. So in that regard, they can shape morality. As the opposition, as a member of opposition, it is my responsibility to actually extend this debate. In that regard, our team case is the church needs the government for its effective operation. Now, the church actually can provide moral doctrines, just like how Virginal was in the Baptist church, received religious belief, but actually was enraged, did not consider what she was learning in the church, and killed that lady. Oh my God. And so in that regard, this actually states that the church needs the government for its operation. A classical example in November, when the rebellious individuals wanted to organize a coup d'etat. In fact, they organized a coup d'etat against the government. I bet you some of them were also Christian. They do not consider the moral doctrines they were receiving and the moral values. They actually attempted to go and overthrow the president, to cause political instability, and that had a greater effect to the church, because the church did not operate in that area. So which means that without the government, you cannot function effectively. And before a church is established, that church needs to be registered to the government. If it's not registered, oh my God, you cannot function properly. So in that regard, you need to be registered in order to actually shape morality in the state. we as an opposition, we consider the church. The reason why the
Time
government
is up. Your time is up.
implement policies. Time is up.
That's the opposition member from the opposition party. We're moving straight off to the government whip of today's sitting.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, as will Daniel Abobo, for the propositions, I stand before to summarize our key arguments and make a final appeal. Our team has demonstrated that the church plays a crucial role in enabling spiritual guidance, moral teachings, and also community influence as a bent in shaping morality. Opposition, you talked about anti-corruption. I may like to ask you this question. Has anti-corruption stopped masturbation, drunkenness? You talked about masturbation. Has masturbation stopped anti-corruption? It stopped drinking, stealing. So the church. So it's a question now.
Please, honorable members, be calm, or else we will ensure we take members out of the well. Please, listen.
The question is going directly to opposition member. Yes, sir. I wanted to make a point that the church actually can shape morality, but it does not play a greater one in shaping morality. And to actually summarize my point. Excuse me, madam. You are not supposed to do. It can be rhetorical. Okay. You are not supposed to answer. Grateful. The government be seated. Thank you. As I was saying, our team has demonstrated that the church plays a crucial role in enabling spiritual guidance, moral teachings, and also community influence as a benchmark in shaping morality. In conclusion, I urge you to support this motion as it is crucial for spiritual guidance which helps one to be moral, and also moral teaching which helps one to be more moral in our society today. The church impact on individual hearts and minds. It makes a more profound force in shaping more characters and guiding human behaviors. Let's work together to get a desirable outcome. Thank you all.
So from the side of the government, she's the closing whip. We are hearing from the opposition whip.
Ike James. The government has a greater role in shaping morality, as is been stated by my opposition leader, deputy opposition leader, as they have said it all, and also my closing leader. We've seen it in so many axes, in so many areas where government has played a great role. Like it has been mentioned, morality is embedded by government through laws and justice, says by my opposition leader. Because laws can be implemented. Without laws, most of us can misbehave, even if we are in the church. We've seen it in so many areas. Also, which is it has been stated in the Bible verse, Romans chapter 13, verse 1 to 14. As if you have your Bible, you can read through it. Because morality is a practical something. It's a practical something that you can impact in yourself. Because, like we've seen in the word we used to say, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Right? If laws are not being implemented, is morality really playing, is the church really playing more, a crucial role in playing morality, in helping shaping morality in the church? Like, for example, we have the Anti-Corruption Commission, as it's been said by my leader. We have the Anti-Corruption Commission. They play a great role in shaping morality in so many areas. Like if you steal, the law need to act on you. If you rape, is there any means in the church that they can say, now you've raped, they can kill you directly or they can destroy you directly? No. Laws are abide in government. Government play these roles to, stop those areas. Like for helping ourselves, even in the aspect of our well-being, government play a greater role. The government shapes everything. The government help us to direct us in so many areas. Like we've seen years back, there were so many people going out, destroying properties, destroying lives. But government says that we have coffee order, like nobody will go out, because the church cannot say we stop that one immediately. Reasons: the church cannot arise and go out there stop people. Only the government that can, only the government has the right to stop everything in the country. Like now, if you want to move from here to Waterloo, if the government or the president says that you cannot move from here to Waterloo, will you argue the president to say, I'm going there? No, government has the right to stop everything. Morality is a practical something that you can play every day. So I believe, as we are the opposition, members of government, that this house believe that government has a greater role in playing, shaping morality in the country. If you don't believe, you can take on yourself. Like for now, like people were arguing, they were saying that you cannot judge your colleague, saying that the government does not have the right. The government has the right to stop morality. The government has the right to play a greater role to stop morality by saying, we, the opposition leader, rejected the claim that the church does not have the right to shape the morality, in life of the government. Thank you very much.
We are guided by our constitution. In section 63 sub 1A, it is clearly stated that the sitting government, the president, do have the rights to hire or fire when it comes to judiciary and making statements. Nevertheless, we have Madam Speaker here. Thus, we as members and citizens, we are going to know if we are to vote again for this government side, or we are going to bring in the opposition as elected and legitimate government members. Thank you very much for listening. Put your hands together for yourselves and our amazing speakers. I'm handing over to our speaker. Madam Speaker, you have the mic, please.
So because they were not fighting, they were just debating, they have to shake their hands. You have to shake the hands of each other. Okay, so that's been said. Please, can we listen? So having done that, I want to take this opportunity to thank every member that participated in this debate. I have learned a lot of things, and honestly, there are some things I didn't learn, but I think I'll have to meet the members of parliament, let them educate me privately, because I need to really be well educated in some of the instances that you guys came up with. But nonetheless, I want to thank you and appreciate the fact that you took the opportunity to come up here, because it's not everybody that can do that. So having come up here, you'll have something. So we just want to appreciate you. But however, as the debate was going on, I did some jottings. Last year, I just did general comments, but this year, I'm going to do personal. Reason being that it's not to break us down, but it's for us to work on ourselves the more, and it's for us to empower ourselves the more, and it's for us to upgrade ourselves, because I have regular phases here, and it's like they are making the same mistakes. Probably we as judges, we didn't do our work well. So that's why this time we are going in depth, and God will help us. So like for the Prime Minister, first of all, the Prime Minister, it goes for all of you that are seated here, because one day you'll be involved in the parliamentary debates. The role of the Prime Minister, he's like the president. He's like the president. And our Prime Minister, when he came up here, I think he forgot that role. He was not assertive. That me, as the Prime Minister, I believe that, or this house believes that, he was not assertive at all. And secondly, it's like none of them, most of them did not do any introduction. And our Prime Minister, he did not give any definition. And there are key terms. Probably if he would have given definitions, would have known what is government, morality. No definition was made by him. And that was what he was supposed to do. Yes, the Prime Minister, sir. You did not. I didn't get it. If anybody should get it, it should be Her Majesty. But I didn't get it. So please, next time, make sure you speak loud so that Her Majesty will hear you, because I can hire and fire you as it pleases me. Anyways, you have to define key terms, and it's based on that definition that he will ride on. That's the deputy. And by the way, Deputy Prime Minister, I don't like your outfit. You don't come to you don't come to this world. You don't come to where I'm sitting with that kind of dress. Please, make sure you put on Africana or something that's of, you know. So please. So that's what I found out about Daniel. You were supposed to state the no definition, Daniel. That's one thing. Please make sure that you define and you be audible. And for Edward too, no definition, Mr. Edward. You know, the government of the day has their own definition. There is a way that they can look at morality. That's not how you people look at morality. So therefore, you bring your own definition, and in bringing up your own definition, you can even debunk. Sometimes your definition can even be a scenario. Sometimes your definition can be an adage. Sometimes your definition can be a quote by somebody else. So you did not do it, and he too, he did not do it. And that was one good point for somebody to have picked it up, but nobody did. So you did not do that. So it has to be Done. And also, when you came to the stage, that's the time you were dressing. I thought you saw me when I looked at you, so you just, or maybe you saw me, so you try for draw, you close down, please. When we come to this well of parliament, na strictness. You dress well and you come and present whatever you have to present, and it will be okay. So please, you have to, maybe you can talk in the next time. So we come to Ali. Ali. Who is Ali? Ali. Yes. You're wearing jeans in my parliament. Next time I'll ask my security to take you out. You don't wear jeans here. You do official. So that's what I noticed about you, please. And also, you spoke about a lot of things, but where's the evidence? No statistics. Where's the evidence? And the opposition, nothing was mentioned about the Constitution. Okay, you want to give me work, eh? Okay. So for go search self. I for just Google. Okay, so I will say brother, no. Honorable Ali said I should just yes. But on a more serious note, when you are doing debate, you have to be accurate with your statistics and your analysis, because the judges are well educated or vast in what you are saying. And to support what you are saying is like I've forgotten actually, but it's not okay for debating. I'm seeing you as an debater, so therefore on this, and it will be okay. So that was it, your dress code. And also next time when you are giving statistics, and one thing I saw for almost all of you were reading. You don't do that in debate. You take your points and you argue on them. If you start to read, then you bore we. It will not if one read, they're gonna they read to we. So please, when you are doing your debate, international style, you do your debate reading, then they pull you now though. You know, in fact, before you go there, they will tell you, as a debater, you're supposed to be vast. You're supposed to be well inclined. You're supposed to be knowledgeable. That's why they have given you the theme and the topic, 45 minutes. Study around the topic and know. So please, I see this man in a book now I can with. I say, wow, you beat my imagination. Please, you don't do that. You can have your points noted down, because I must forget. But you don't come to be reading. We'll be bored with that. So please work on that. And I just want to go to our sister Linda. She was reading most of the time. She spoke well, but there are times that the times that I saw you were reading. But yeah, well, she was reading, and one thing I noticed is that you spent much time telling us who you are and what you are supposed to do instead of you to present your argument. That was why your time left you. You spent most time, you said that about 2 or 3 times I had it. Well, as the this and so, no, not tell we. Act, Lord, we see him. Lord, we see him. Lord, we see him. By what you are saying, well, no, you don't need to impress these people. It's just, we know your role. It's not bad that you said it, but don't keep on emphasizing on it and the time. And another thing also, if there is 2, it can either be point POI or POC. Point of information, there is something that somebody has said that you have an accurate something that you want to tell. So you can say point of information. And also there is point of clarification. But some people question, you are just mixing it up. Please, after this session, go and read about this thing. And, work well on it so that the next time that we come here, we'll go on well. So that's it. And also, for our last speakers, honestly, me, I don't lie. I know I'm going L. Our last speakers, they not do well better. They did not impress us much at all. It's like they did not even know their roles. It's not like they did not know. As the last speaker, she's supposed to be the whip of the government, and he's supposed to be the whip of the opposition. And what her role was to come and tell us the points that the government made, and to also show us the points that the opposition made, and tell us why they should win the debate. That was just it. And also he kept on bringing new points. As the last speaker, you don't bring up new points. You have already heard what they have said. You just the bill on that point. So please, let's make sure we work on it and all. And somebody said morality is a practical something that you can play or do every day. I want to know how that is done. Because me, I want to play it. Honestly. Like, how could you? Morality is please, let us don't just come here. No, it's wrong. We should go up higher. And we should know whose children we are. Pastor Kumuyi, na in breed we. He cannot just stand and say something. Before you come here, be prepared. Don't just come here and be talking. Talk when it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, no talker. No, yes, it's true. Don't come here. Make sure that you practice. Don't just go for debates. No, it's true. Because you have to represent the church, you have to represent your family and yourself. So you just cannot come, please. Make sure you structure yourself. And another thing that I noticed is that you people did not work as a group. We know we want the best debater, but your team also matters. The Prime Minister should know that he should set the face or in a lady foundation, and the Deputy Prime Minister, they bill on her. But it's like, if they go so, the deputy, I don't even know what to do. Trust me. I just know say all book, it's nappy and that. Then he went jeans to, okay, no, he went jeans to a six back part. No, he went polo. You don't do that, please. So please make sure you organize yourself. And another thing, how does the government has the greater rule to stop morality? How government has that greater rule? How? Some of you understood the topic. One or two said that we are not crying the churches down. But what we are saying is that this particular, they have more role. And somebody said, no, that's what debate is. Critically analyzing the topic and tell us why. Because some of us, we don't know, we want to learn from you. So please, when you're coming here next time for debates, make sure you're well prepared. Make sure that you have studied well. And make sure that you're there. No can't snap here begin for everything where if you yourself, if them play the record, you go share and say, now maybe they say this, and I mean, must be just the talker. So please, let's work on ourselves. Me, I'm very passionate about debate, and it can help us. I want to be really very personal. Since I was born, I don't be the ever remember saying me I was done a plane. It was as a result of debate. And what I did was I read. Before now, and they talk fast. But I trained myself. And there's no speaker here like that. You they so talk fast. You know they two get with you they talk. You work on yourself. You focus. You know not say this like open door for you for like now before people them. So this is not just for them, for all of us. Please make sure that you practice. Not go there for watch too much of Manchester or Genevieve or Mortal. I would have 5% in company. Then they benefit to now. Do something that will improve you. Do something that will upgrade you. And make sure that this year, when they come, or the other year, next year, you are better, you are improved. Be a developer. Don't just be a dreamer. Don't just be a drifter. Don't just be a driver, but be a developer. And enhance yourself daily, and God will help us in Jesus' name. So this is what I have to say.
So we've listened from our speaker of this well. Hence, we are handing over to the moderator. I was serving as the moderator for this bill to be passed or not. And we are going to hear from the team in ensuring that as Sierra Leoneans, either the government is okay to lead us through or the opposition is taking over from where the government is leaving. We are learning that shortly. So please be attentive and be calm as we await that and move forward with this. Please, Mrs. Fase, you are needed up here and to continue.
Well, the session has ended. Your faith is not faith, it's faith from the general public. So, Sierra Leoneans, you have heard the presentations that have been made by your party in power and also by those that are aspiring to be in power. So this judgment lies on your shoulder. It rests in your bosom to vote And please make sure you vote wisely. Do you want them to come again? Now this kind prime minister and the leaders not only lead una, or is it the opposition who now want to make it come? So it rests with you. We'll cast a vote and we'll get back to our members. God bless you and thank you very much. You can please take your seats.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and team. God richly bless you. Time is now on our side. Please, can we stand up as we wait for our judges?